Right now, Europe's car industry is stuck in a traffic jam, a big one, the kind that makes you want to turn the engine off and take a nap. It's not pretty. See, the world is going green, right? Electric cars, hydrogen fuel cells, all that jazz, but making that shift, it costs a fortune, and European car makers are feeling the pinch. On top of that, competition is fierce. Those Americans and Chinese, they're not standing still. They're pumping out electric cars faster than a speeding bullet. And let's not forget the rules. Europe's got a lot of them, especially when it comes to emissions. Tougher than a boot camp sergeant they are. This perfect storm of challenges is making life difficult for car makers. They need help. They need a plan. Lucky for them, the European Commission has just the thing. Buckle up, because things are about to get interesting. The European Commission, the bigwigs in Brussels, have finally unveiled their grand plan to rescue the struggling car industry. Is it a stroke of genius? Time will tell, but it's certainly got everyone talking. The plan has a catchy name, something like Action Plan for a Green and Competitive Automotive Industry. Catchy, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, it's all about throwing money at the problem. And when I say money, I mean billions. We're talking a whopping 1.8 billion euros to secure those all-important battery raw materials, 1 billion euros for fancy innovation like AI-powered cars, and another 570 million euros to build more charging stations. Because, let's face it, nobody wants to be stranded with a flat battery in the middle of nowhere. That's just embarrassing. But it's not just about throwing cash around. The Commission also wants to make life a little easier for car makers. They're talking about being a bit more flexible with those pesky CO2 emission targets. Instead of breathing down their necks every year, they're giving them a bit of breathing room, 3 years to be precise. Look, we all want cleaner air. Nobody enjoys sitting in a traffic jam choking on exhaust fumes. It's not exactly aromatherapy, is it? But the road to zero emissions doesn't have to be a motorway to misery. The Commission gets that. They're not completely bonkers. That's why they're introducing a bit of flexibility into the mix. Instead of forcing car makers to meet those strict CO2 targets every single year, they're giving them a bit of leeway. It's like a get-out-of-jail-free card, but for emissions. Here's the deal. Car companies now have 3 years to hit their targets. So if they have a bad year, they can make up for it in the next 2. It's all about balance, you see. And, to be fair, it makes sense. The car industry is going through a massive transformation. It's like trying to change a tire on a moving car. A bit of flexibility goes a long way, but don't think for a minute that the Commission has gone soft. They're still keeping a close eye on things. They've even moved up the review of CO2 emission standards to next year. So car makers, don't get too comfortable. The pressure is still on. The European Commission's plan for the car industry isn't just about throwing money at the problem and loosening the reins a bit. It's also about looking to the future. And the future, my friends, is all about innovation. They're talking about pumping money into all sorts of exciting technologies. Think AI-powered cars that practically drive themselves, connected vehicles that can talk to each other, and even more efficient electric powertrains. It's like something out of a science fiction film, but without the robots taking over the world, hopefully. But here's the thing, innovation doesn't happen in a vacuum, it takes collaboration. And that's where the strategic dialogue comes in. The Commission is bringing everyone to the table, car makers, suppliers, researchers, the lot. They want to create a united front, a European powerhouse of automotive ingenuity. And why is this so important? Because the global competition isn't sitting around twiddling their thumbs, they're gunning for the top spot. And if Europe wants to stay in the race, they need to work together. So, there you have it, the European Commission's plan to save the car industry. Will it work? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be a wild ride. Fasten your seatbelts.